Paddy, and that's Liverpool. And I just wonder, how can an iconic club like this get themselves into such a mess? We mentioned crisis. It's been going on for so long. Surely someone should have got hold of this before.
Yeah, of course. The main reason is acquisition debt, or the kind of ownership model permitted, in my opinion, misguidedly, seriously misguidedly, by our Premier League, but not permitted in, for instance, Germany. That's the main reason. The other reason is mismanagement at all levels. I'm not wholly blaming Rafa Benitez, and I certainly, you couldn't blame Roy Hodgson, who's only been here only been at the club 2 minutes. But by that I mean mismanagement at all levels, starting with the boardroom, with the Americans who were utterly hopeless, Hicks and Gillette, and deserve to make a whopping loss on this, if there's any justice in the world of business. Also partly by Benitez, who became disaffected with the club, partly because of his relationship with Hicks and Gillette. And third, the team has shown not to have enough collective character over the years, over recent years, to get the club, dig the club out of it. So just basically at every single level. That's why they've got themselves. But the main reason is acquisition debt, because without that, there wouldn't really be a problem.
They wouldn't. There wouldn't be so much for around the whole ownership if Liverpool winning football matches, and ultimately, that's where football always comes down to. And if you look back at the squad that Roy Hodgson has had to take over this summer, millions and millions and millions of pounds was wasted by Rafa Benitez. And a squad put together, as much money was spent by Rafa Benitez, for example, as Harry Redknapp, in fact more, as Harry Redknapp spent on Tottenham. And look at the depth of squad that Harry Redknapp now has at Tottenham. Yeah. So, despite we're all interested in this for the long term, the ultimate thing is they're in the bottom three, and they're right finished out.
So do you blame the players?
I blame the players. I blame Rafa Benitez quite strongly. The rest of it, obviously they don't want the Americans there because they've got no affinity with the club. But that was the Moors' fault, selling them to the Americans in the first place.
Yeah. Yes, but with the crowd didn't raise a whimper, and certainly didn't raise a penny themselves.
They do that by going along every week and buying season
tickets. Buying it, no. Well, of course, you don't buy any power when any football fan who thinks that they buy themselves a vote by buying a replica shirt is mad. Of course you don't. I mean, this is the whole problem. They would rather put their hands in their pockets, fans in this country, for a replica shirt, or even allow the club to go into debt so they can have a year of running around Wembley celebrating, than actually putting their hands in their pockets and buying a stake in the club, which I think is the way forward.
What you're saying, hang on. We're now putting the onus on the fans, who should show they care by buying a stake in the club. Do you realise how expensive these season tickets are? How expensive it is to go to football? And you're saying that the only way they can show they care is by buying a stake in the club? That's preposterous.
Ultimately, no, it's not at all. It's not at all. Wait a minute.
As Danny makes the point, they're buying a stake in the club by buying a season ticket, going along and supporting the team. That's the biggest stake you can buy in a club nowadays.
No, but you're talking emotively. I mean,
this is not. Football's all about.
It's not. I mean, if you don't read the papers, it's not emotive now. It's all about silly business words like amortization and so on. It is not emotive. The power in football is held now by people who have no emotion other than the desire to make a quick buck.
Like Hicks and Gillette?
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing about the position of the
I'm sure we'll talk about Manchester United. I mean, that's up to you, Willie, but I'm sure we'll talk about Manchester United later. But if we do, we are talking about what Danny talked about. As long as they're winning on the field, nobody bats an eyeyelid. But wow, what a time bomb.
Okay,
we'll come to Manchester United.
I just
want Neil to finish your point. I mean, what you're saying is you don't agree with Paddy, obviously, but do you have any sympathy with Liverpool at all?
Well, you have sympathy with the fans, and it was only 2 seasons ago that Rafa Benitez had them close to winning the title, drew too many home games, but weren't far away. So I think this collapse has been dramatically quick in football terms, really. And to put it all on Rafa Benitez, I think, is a bit much, because I think he did an awful lot for that club. 2 Champions League finals, 3 seasons. All right, it's all in the past. He's made mistakes buying players since. Alex Ferguson's wasted a lot of money buying players as well, but he had the money to back it up, and to make the changes. But I mean, to lay it all on Rafa Benitez's doorstep
But he made
is
it
wrong.
about himself then, as these egotistical managers eventually do. The outbursts he had against Fergie, he made it all about himself. And then what he didn't have the Mourinho-esque ability to back it up by winning the title, because if you come out and you make it all about yourself, you have to land the title. Now Mourinho did that, but Benitez didn't. You then get the position where they once he psychologically tried to take on Fergie, they slipped and they slipped and they slipped, and then you got a situation where he wouldn't commit his future until he got a whopping great 5-year deal on the table. He got complete control of the purchase of the players and wanted utter domination of the football club, and then he was shown the door because they didn't make the Champions League. So he essentially is the most responsible person in the club, the manager.
But Alex Ferguson always talks about having control. We said to him once, when did you realise you were going to make a go of this at Man United, when it was going to happen? He said, when I won the first title, because that was when I had control. And that's the position Rafa Benitez wanted to be in, total control, my way or no way. It's a position where Mancini wants to be in now at Manchester City, where he is not questioned. And I think you have to back a manager that way. You have to say, yes, we think he's actually not that good a player, but it's not down to us. You think he is. We've got to back you. We've got to back you.
Exactly.
And they backed Benitez to the point where...
Hodgson's not in that position at all, is he?
Any money to back him, have they, for
no. But he hasn't got an owner. He can't go to the owner. What about?
But he can still do more with the players he's got, I think.
Yes, okay.
Well, for heaven's sake, give him time.
Well, they're not a bottom 3 club, are they?
No, but I mean, if we talk about Hodgson, it's perfectly simple. When he went to Fulham, he wasn't an overnight success. Do you know how many of his? He won 2 of his first 14 matches and steered them from 18th to 19th. That was while they were learning the pattern of play.
I agree totally.
And they then escaped relegation by the skin of their teeth on the final day, and since then, success followed. The same will happen at Liverpool
will turn around Liverpool by Christmas.
The benefit, of course he will. If he gets the benefit of the conditions he was allowed at Fulham, he will take Liverpool to a much higher...
Because there are stories about 3 months he's got to prove himself the right manager for Liverpool.
Whoever started those stories is, I mean, to prove to who?
Yeah.
Who knows more than you or I?
Are you not surprised, Paddy, though, because you know him very well, and the stories I hear is that he's already started getting very chippy with the Liverpool press. Any slight...
he's always been like that.
Hang on. But any slight question about what he's doing...
He's wrong to do that.
I mean, he did it at Fulham. It's not as big, big news.
He's always
doing it now. And, I think he...
you might think these people are muppets, but you've got to go along with them. You cannot afford
I'm not being funny. I've questioned Hodgson loads times at Fulham, and he's 63. He's a long in the tooth English manager. He's been all over Europe managing. So if you dare call him veteran, he gets grumpy.
Well, I'm the same age as Roy. I don't like being called a veteran.
What I'm saying, he's chippy at the slightest thing, at the slightest change. And if you're in charge of a club like Liverpool where you are going to be questioned, then that is a problem. But I think that Danny Murphy's come out and backed him in the papers today, and I think that Hodgson was always the type of manager that was going to take time to drill his ethos into the club.
I think if you talk to any player, Jason Wilcox from Blackburn, who was saying if they just do what he tells them, they will be successful. It's as simple as that. And players all down the years have just said that about Hodgson. And, his record kind of bears it out.
There's a bit of a mess to sort out first before they can actually go...
Yes, but that's not in his...
What do you think will happen on Tuesday? I mean, that's probably difficult for you to answer. But you're into the high court. Do you think there will be some kind of, it's Liverpool, we can't put them into administration?
No, I sincerely hope that was not the case, but I don't think there's any case for administration at all.